Hey guys, today I'm going to discuss with you why Khabib is overrated. Apparently, everyone's saying Khabib is this unbeatable monster who was so dominant, therefore it makes him the best lightweight ever. People also say that he's a top 5 pound for pound fighter, which he isn't. There are too many other fighters with greater resumes than him. Khabib was a weight bully. 2 of his 3 title defenses were against former 145 pounders. Furthermore, Khabib used to fight at 170 pounds outside of the UFC. He had 11 fights at welterweight. The competition was easy, so he didn't bother to cut as much weight. 38% of his fight career was at 170 pounds. So why did he move down to 155 once he joined the UFC? I will tell you why. It is because he knew he could not be competitive nor get the title of 170 in the UFC due to higher competition. If you don't think so, let me ask you this. Why would he suffer, diet hard, and sacrifice in order to make 155? Khabib even missed weight twice in the UFC. Once, he had to be even hospitalized due to it. He could barely make 155, but he did it to have the size advantage. It was not an impressive feat for him to submit a striker like Conor, who was coming off a long layoff. He hadn't fought in MMA in 23 months. That is detrimental for a fighter like Conor, who relies on his timing. He was unfocused due to becoming double champ and making record money by fighting Mayweather. That wasn't even the best version of Conor, and Khabib had trouble taking him down. Conor even won a round. Conor is notorious for gassing out, so no surprise there that Khabib submitted him once he was worn down. Conor from 2015-16 might have actually won, or at least giving a much better account of himself. He might have even clipped Khabib due to his timing and accuracy. The Poirier win was similar. He chain wrestled him and tired him out, then submitted him. Khabib got the title from a real estate agent who basically sometimes fights. The Justin win on paper seems decent, but he also had no gas tank when you make him wrestle. He is a sloppy striker, so another easy win for Khabib. To top it all off, Khabib retired at age 32, which is very uncommon for MMA. He did it because he was scared to lose. The hardest part of being a champion is to keep on defending the title, with hungry contender, one after the other. Eventually, all champions run into a contender that has their number, and poses a problem style-wise. We just didn't have enough time to see it happen to Khabib. Don't get me started on his bloated, padded MMA record of 29-0. It means nothing when most of his fights were outside of the UFC against nobodies. They don't even have Wikipedia pages. Only 13 of Khabib's fights were in the UFC, and not really against the best opponents. Some of those guys were cans. He was in the UFC for 8 years. He didn't even have much activity. That's less than 2 fights a year. That's fine if he was champ the whole time, but not as a contender. That's when fighters have the most amount of fights in a short period of time. Another reason you can't rank Khabib that high is because he was not a double champ. Nowadays, it's like getting a 2-for-1 Happy Meal. Of course, I'm exaggerating. However, too many fighters have achieved the status of getting a title in 2 different weight classes. You can't ignore that. Here's a list of all fighters to get titles in 2 weight classes. Conor McGregor, Daniel Cormier, Amanda Nunes, Alex Pereira, BJ Penn, GSP, John Jones, and Randy Couture. They all achieve something greater than Khabib because they put it on the line. That is what creates long-lasting legacies. When fighters take fights, they aren't sure they can win when the odds are against them. Khabib wanted to cherry-pick GSP. Not only was he really old, but he wanted to weight train him to 155 pounds, a weight class 15 pounds lighter than GSP ever fought in his career. Fighters, when they cut so much weight, they gas out. They are weak and are susceptible to getting knocked out easily. He knew this. That is why he wanted to fight at 155. Khabib still found it too risky to fight that old man at welterweight. GSP in his prime would have easily beaten Khabib and even out-wrestled him. You would be surprised if Khabib had moved up. I think he might have been able to beat 1, maybe 2 fighters in the current top 10 rankings of the welterweight division. It would have been embarrassing for him. He would have gotten exposed and his dominant image gone. Imagine what Usman would have done with him. Usman held 100% takedown defense for a long time. Plus, he's a better striker and hits way harder. It would be a complete mismatch. Khabib is a wrestler. Wrestlers, when they move up in weight, they tend to do badly. He would lose his advantage of being bigger and stronger than his opponents. Look at the fighters he would have potentially faced at welterweight. Kamaru Usman, Leon Edwards, Colby Covington, GSP, and the list goes on. They would have just stuffed his takedown attempts and probably just put Khabib on his back. We never saw how Khabib would react if that happened. He would have been demoralized. We didn't see Khabib get pushed to the brink of the feet and come back like a true champ does. That isn't normal because all champions face adversity. They just have to fight long enough to do so. We don't know if he has the kind of heart to not tap or try and finish someone because he is down on all scorecards. Khabib was never taken down in the UFC, which seems impressive, but that just shows the lack of competition when it comes to facing competent fighters that can actually wrestle. Even Olympic wrestlers get taken down, yet Khabib didn't? What a joke. Better wrestlers in the UFC have been taken down. Imagine if there was a boxer who never got hit a single time. It's ridiculous. It just shows his resume isn't very good, even though he was facing smaller fighters who weren't good wrestlers. Khabib struggled to even take them down. He had to chain wrestle for ages and look pathetic while doing so. He would miss several takedown attempts in a row and keep spamming them and even going for the ankles. It looked comical even. When he fought Gleison Tibau, a guy his own size, he couldn't take him down. It was a super close decision. So by retiring so early, Khabib tricked the public into believing he was unbeatable because he had that 29-0. Casual fans might fall for it, but real fans can see right through that. If he had a single loss or had been finished, his whole mystique and aura of invincibility would have vanished. He doesn't hold any records, has only 3 title defenses, and 4 total title fights. How come people rank Khabib so highly, yet they put BJ Penn down like if he was no good? They both only have 3 title defenses at 155. Penn had 5 total wins in the titles when you include welterweight, and Khabib has only 4 title wins. Compare him to Jon Jones, 15 title fights and 11 defenses. GSP had 12 title fights and 9 defenses. Anderson had 13 title fights and 10 defenses. Demetrius Johnson had 13 title fights and 11 defenses. Those kind of statistics put Khabib to shame. That resume of his, it's no good. Anyways, tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Where would you rank Khabib? Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Thanks.